Hello and welcome to Zafiralis All Rounder Championship Round 5 from Fern Bay Rallycross Green. Tonight we are having another Rallycross round, the second of the championship so far this year. And, well, I have to say I'm looking forward to this quite a lot because we've got a lot of cars ready and waiting to tackle Fern Bay Rallycross Green, which is a 0.7 kilometre, 0.4 mile track with far fewer corners probably than are on my diagram. But anyway, a few little twists and turns, a big jump as they head towards Sector 1. And tonight we're going to have 5-lap races in our heats, followed by 6-lap finals. So that's going to be the order of the day. We've got about 22 cars in the server, so we're going to have plenty of drama, plenty of action for the start of the first heat race, with the return of the Skoda 110L Rally. The licensed car by Stucklow has a 1.1 litre inline 4 rear-wheel drive configuration, weighing in at 785 kilograms, and it has 110 brake horsepower in its rally configuration. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Let's have a look at the schedule, shall we? We are well into the Fern Bay portion of this year's championship. We've been to Rockingham for 3 rounds with the road tyres, the dirt tyres, and the slick tyres. We've had the first of the 3 rounds at Fern Bay with road last month with the FZ5 at Fern Bay Gold. That was a lot of fun. Brilliant end to that race. Go and check it out on our channel if you haven't seen it. And tonight, we're at Fern Bay Rallycross Green for round 5 of the championship, and it's a dirt race. It's Rallycross. We love that. So we're going to have heat racing. We're going to have finals. There's going to be lots and lots of quick rapid fire races. Only 5 laps around here, so it's not going to be long at all. The lap is only 30 seconds long or so. Nande Luca set the fastest lap in the qualifying session with a 32.68, just to show you the sort of pace that the drivers are looking at on the single lap qualifying there. So, pretty good. Got Trespass there in P2. Martin McElroy's here. Thamuli, Lorenzo, Opis, Unite, Magic, Pontale, Christian, P10. With Timonen, Roni, Neves, Majesta, Martins, Santinve, Kid, Matthias, Goat, and Martin Kapal all here to enjoy the action. And a couple of names on the second screen, Emir and A. Danilo, as we're waiting to get confirmation of who the first runners are going to be for the first heat race. We'll let Jonathan Palmer and Unimension Racing sort that out in the background while we talk to you about the championship standings. We've got a driver championship standings, of course, because, it's all about that. And it's Sufor currently leading the way with 66 points ahead of Kirill, Lorenzo, Mausman, Thamuli, Dodislav, Majesta, Roni, Nozzle, and Legutskas. Then we've got Hamster, Igorka, Asker, Nano, T-Bug, Magic, Motomikari, Tim DC, Hachiroku, and Kazu are your top 20 in this one. And we're going to wait now for the start of our first heat race, which should be coming up in just a few moments' time. And we are going to be having, quick rapid fire races. I think we're going to have 4 or 5 drivers in the first heat this evening. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Lots of door banging as we head around this fairly wide track, to be fair. But plenty of jumps, plenty of corners to challenge the drivers. So we wait to see what happens. We'll be back in a minute once the grid is ready. We might have a bit of a hold here, so we're going to take a pause and we're back just as soon as we have cars on the track. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for your patience. We're just waiting for the organisers to get going. A few minutes behind, but as soon as we have a race underway, you'll hear me and I'll be commentating on it. So just keep hanging by and we'll show you the pictures just as soon as we have a race. So the graphic on screen consists of people who qualified for the event. However, we've had quite a few people who have since left, and therefore we're going to have a little bit of a confusing lineup. But it does look like we have everybody in Heat 2 there lined up, ready to go. Sorry, Race 2 of Heat 1 there, lined up and ready to go. So it should be Neves, Madjester, Martins, and I think Santinver and Kidd aren't here. So I think we're going to have a 3-car race, and coming up in just a few moments' time. Then, depending on who's turned up in the final 2 races in this heat, we'll have Magic, Hontala, Christian, Timonen, Roni in race 3, with Thamuli, Lorenzo, Hoppis, and Unite in race 4. It looks like we're going to get a race start, so let's head to the grid and get this underway. Here we go then, we've got cars pulling away and starting off on their way down to the first corner, and we have got a 3-car race. Madjester takes to the lead with Martins and Neves driving for the MVR team just behind. And Madjester for SG Racing, of course, has already opened a pretty big lead, so let's see how these 3 get around Fern Bay Rallycross Green. Of course, this is the shortest standard configuration at Fern Bay, and it's seldom used. This is in fact the first time we are ever showing it on the broadcast, so that's fun. Fun little fact there. But yeah, we're away finally. We have some racing underway, and it's Madjester who currently leads convincingly. Great start, great first lap. Although went up onto 2 wheels there, nearly rolled it. We saw a few cars doing that in the practice session. The sort of high centre of gravity of this car means that it can roll over quite easily over the big curbs, and Madjester still looks to be pretty comfortable, though Martins has had a better lap this time round as he heads over start finish. Oh, Martins has spun round, and so has Neves, so the 2 teammates are pretty much out of this one. They're going to be battling it out for themselves, but remember, in the heat race format it is race time which makes all of the difference. It's not your position in the races, it's your overall race time. The drivers need to work together, especially teammates, that's for sure. But Madjester looks pretty well under control here as he swings it around the penultimate corner and then into the final apex of lap 3, 2 to go. And well, he's gonna be able to see the drivers he's racing in a minute, because they are still somewhere in the Rallycross section. In fact, I think Martins will just about be out of the Rallycross section by the time Madjester goes in. No, not quite. So Madjester on an absolute roll here. Neves and Martins are racing each other over start finish. Teammates, but do not think that is going to be a good result for their heats at all. They'll have to do something quite special in the next 2 heats to make up for that. As onto the final lap comes Madjester now. Onto the Rallycross section. And there's just one really big jump here, which with a larger heat is going to be entertaining. The wheels barely leave the ground because of the sort of top speed of this car. But out over the final curb goes Madjester. We've got Martins has rolled over. It's going to be a bit of a wait for him to come round to the finish line. Oh, Martins has actually aborted, so we're just going to be waiting for Neves. But it is the first heat race of tonight's action, going the way of Mad Jester, and a race time to keep an eye on at 2:52.48. As over start finish comes Neves, and it's 20 seconds back, so that is not ideal for him. There we go then, the results of race 1 of tonight's action. Jester taking the win. Fastest lap of a 33.05, and the race time to keep an eye on a 2:52.48. So let's take a look at those grids once again. Our next race is going to be between Magic, Hontale, Christian, Timonen and Roni. It looks like Hontale is not here, so just the 4 cars. As Roni heads out for a little bit of practice. And we will get a grid appearing right there where the camera is in just a few seconds' time. I think we're waiting for one more car. No, I think everybody's on I don't think we've got Christian with us anymore. So yeah, this is going to be another 3-car heat. Oh, it looks like Christian is back in the server. That's possibly what they were waiting for before we get going with this next heat. So we will get our 4-car heat, hopefully. As the drivers getting some practice, Magic and Roni having some full contact practice around the back of the circuit. We've got 4 cars on the track now, so we should be ready to go. As the race restarts, and we have a grid, and what a lovely grid it is. 4 cars lined up side by side, and from left to right it's Magic, Roni, Timonen and Christian. As the lights go green, and we are away for race 2 of heat number 1, and this is where it starts to get spicy into turn number 1. That's Christian trying to go around the outside, and he's made it past. Whoa, forces Timonen wide as the 2 race green cars head off into the rallycross section. Oh, Roni taking a lot of curb, and it's Timonen back down to the back of the grid then. Christian holds on to P3 for now. Over start finish already comes Magic to begin lap 2. Oh, straight into the grass nearly goes Christian. This is going to be a frantic fight for 4th place. Remember, ladies and gents, that it's not about race position, it's about overall race time. The faster your race times, the higher place you will be in finals at the end of the heats. So it's not all about positioning, it's about working together with the other drivers on the track to get the ultimate fastest race time possible. 2 minutes 52, the best so far by Mad Jester. Nobody else has even had a chance to try yet, so we'll see what we get after this one. Timonen nearly rolling it there at the back. And it's close between Magic and Roni coming into lap number 4, but Magic does seem to have a bit of a grip on this race now. Let's see if the gap goes up. Yes, it does, to almost a second between 1st and 2nd place. But it's not a good lap time compared to the first heat. I think Mad Jester is looking good at the moment to hold on to the overall lead. Magic will have to do something pretty special to beat Mad Jester's overall race time. but we've still got a lap and a half to go. Let's see what he can manage then. As out of the final corner and over start finish he goes. Start the final lap. Rooney's closing him down, but not, as you know, he's dropped back a bit more on that lap, so Magic is extending his lead. And these two at the back still close, Packed Christian and E. Timonen. And it could be close for third place in this race, but out of the final corner is about to emerge Magic, who is going to seal the second heat race of the day. Over the start-finish line he comes to win, and Christian will take P3 in the end, Roney taking P2 of course, and it's a 2:51.6, so actually Magic has got it back. He's managed to do the fastest race time so far, and he will go top of the overall standings. There we go then. There are the results of race number 2 this evening. Magic on top, Roney, Christian and E. Timonen. And Magic scoring the fastest lap today, or rather in that race, at 33.29. As the gridding gets underway for the third race in heat number 1, which confusingly on our graphics is listed as race 4 because race 1 didn't actually take place because nobody was here to take the grid. But we have a full one for this one. It's the Muli, Lorenzo, Hoppis and Unite are going to take the grid for race number 4. And we will have a 5th race. That's going to be between Manolix Forus, Trespasser and Motta Macari. Before then, of course, we've got our third race, shown as race 4 here. The Muli, Lorenzo, Hoppis and Unite. They're all out on track doing their practice. And everyone's getting ready to go now. Here we go then to the grid. 4 cars lined up from left to right. It's the Muli, Lorenzo, Hoppis and Unite. As we wait then for the lights. And we are green as everyone heads down to turn 1. A fantastic looking grid of cars. Pretty wide into turn 1, and it's Hoppis being spun around. Nearly made it into the lead, but hustled out of it, and that's going to be a long way to the front from there as Unite then moves up into P3. But it's the Muli who leads everyone into the second sector of the first lap. Lorenzo nestled in behind him in a rather smart livery, I have to say. And out of the final corner rather, comes the Muli, followed by Lorenzo. And Unite dropping back already, it seems. Fellow Finn Thamuli at the front is making waves here. And Thamuli is live on Twitch if you'd like to pull up his onboard and follow him along. At Thamuli_. There you go. Graphic just appearing at the bottom right of your screen there, as we're on to lap 3 already. Thamuli is doing a nice job so far to hold off Lorenzo. Unite solid P3. But we're starting to see who the pace setters are in tonight's event. It's Manchester, Magic, and now Thamuli. And Thamuli is setting some really, really nice consistent lap times here. And I wouldn't be surprised if Thamuli goes to the top of the overall timing sheets now, as we're already on to lap number 4. And it's a great lap, a 33.2 by Thamuli. Need to be nice and consistent. Over the curb a little bit, but that doesn't hurt him at all. Just shortens his run into the chicane. And then a nice Scandinavian flick into the final corner. Final lap for Thamuli then. And it's another great lap. Just a bit slower than his previous one. As we switch focus to Lorenzo then. Who will just be hoping to score the best race time he can at this stage. As Unite looks like he's been caught a little bit by Hoppis then. Unite's not having a great time this evening, but out of the final corner comes Thamuli to take the victory in race number 3 this evening. It's a great race time, a 2 minute 50.48, and that is the fastest time we have seen. But that was actually, I think, also the fastest heat we've seen, only 6 seconds separating the cars within it. So the heats have been getting faster and faster, which is not normally what happens. Normally it goes in qualifying order, but I'm always happy to be surprised. And let's take a look then at those race results from race number 3. Thamuli, 2 minute 50.48, fastest lap, a 33.2, with Lorenzo second, Unite third, and Hoppis in 4th place. We've already got Argy Bargy in the practice session in the background as the drivers start to do their warm-up. Let's take a look at the grids for race number 4, marked as race number 5 on our graphics. Analix for us, Trespasser and Mortimer Carey, and well, if it's anything like what's going on in the background there, this is going to be an exciting one. Off we go then. Race number 4 of this evening's action. From left to right, it's Nanny Luca, Trespasser and Mortimer Carey. 3 cars that remain. And it's all the cars are overlapping going into turn 1. That's always a good sign. And it's Nanny Luca around the outside to take the lead. That's a great move. As Mortimer Carey looks like he's going to go straight to the back of this one. He can't follow in his teammates' footsteps as they go over the jump all together over the sector line. And it's Trespasser who's hurrying the back of Nanny Luca now. Now this looks like a feisty little heat, doesn't it? And not before time. Mortimer Carey at the back trying everything to find a way through on Trespasser, but even though it's quite a wide track here, it's not very easy to overtake unless the car ahead makes a mistake, or you can force yourself up the inside into, for example, the final corner. Still tricky though. Yeah, the door closes. Trespasser not allowing him through as Nanny Luca opens up a small gap. Let's see what it is at the line. 0.6 after the first sector, 0.8 now. So Nanny Luca making good ground. And if we can, I'd like more of the same of this, because this is a high speed heat for sure. Trespasser there nearly getting up on 2 wheels. Yeah, Mortimer Carey's dropped off a little bit. That's going to allow Trespasser to focus forwards as we go into the final 2 laps then of this 4th race of the night. Watching Zafiralis All Rounder Championship. All Rounder because we have road racing, dirt racing and slick racing. Tonight is of course a rallycross round, a dirt tyres round, using the rallycross format here. 3 heat races each and a final. Potentially more than one final, of course, because the drivers are promoted to the next final if they win their D, C or B final. As over start finish we go, and it does look like Mortimer Carey is dropping off as Trespasser closes in on winners Nanny Luca, who is currently set to win, but anything can happen in the final lap around here. What can Trespasser do? Can he do anything actually at this point? The gap is quite large, and there are only about 10 seconds left of the race, because that's how short the race is. Closing in on him. This is good for future heats, but way too much lock on the car there, slowing the car down. Nanny Luca flourishes to the finish in a good race time, but will it be good enough to take the overall lead? We will find out in just a few moments' time. That was a very, very quick heat. So again, the heat's just getting faster and faster. And there we go. Naliluka wins in 2 minutes 50.64. Trespassers P2, Motti Makari P3, and it was Motti Makari at the back who got the fastest lap of 32.93. Interesting. First time we have seen that happen. All right, well, that is it for Heat 1. And as soon as we can confirm some results with you, we will do. And yeah, while we wait for those, let's have a look back at the schedule for the championship, because of course this is part of a longer series. There is a race every single month for the Zafiralis All Rounder Championship. Tonight we are using the Skoda 110 Rally E at Fernbay Rallycross Green. And it looks like we now have some results to show you. So let's have a look at those. The Mooley topping the timesheets with a 2 minute 50.48, closely followed by Naliluka. Apologies for the name there. That is Naliluka in P2. Then it's Trespasser and Magic with Motti Makari P5 after scoring that fastest lap in the last heat race we just watched. He was quick enough to take P5 with Julio Martins there at the back with a DNF in his race. So that means he's already got a drop round and he'll have to do exceedingly well in the next two races in order to climb his way up the grid. So as the drivers do a little bit of warm-up for the next heat race, we can see who we can expect on the grid. It's going to be Christian, Timonen, Neves, and we'll see how many of these guys actually turn up for this one. Race 2 should be between Lorenzo, Magesta, Roni, Unite and Hoppis, with Thamuli, Naliluka, Trespasser, Magic and Motti Makari in race 3. And it looks like we're going to have 4 of the 5 drivers that we will build. And from left to right, it's Christian, Timonen, Neves and Julio Martins as we go green for the start of heat number 2 then. So these are the drivers that scored the slowest lap times in the first heats, and the heats will get progressively faster as we go through. But this looks like a racy heat. We've got 2 wide at the front and they're banging doors already. It's going to be hard into the wall. That's Christian that takes back over the lead, even though he bounced off the wall just before. Second place is Timonen for now, but looks like Neves is going to get him. Yes, he does, at the apex of the final corner. Neves up to P2, and will Julio Martins follow him through up into turn 1? Oh, he's given it a good go, but Timonen's got him covered off for now. Christian leads on lap 2, already almost a second gap over Neves. There's a bit wide there for Timonen, and that's going to allow Julio Martins to go straight through and up into P3. A change of position there onto lap number 3. And the gap over a second and a half now between Christian and Neves. So this is a strong showing in Heat 2 for Christian. As it looks like Timonen and Martins are going to be, well, they were the closest two together, but Timonen's not had a great exit out of the third corner. And Julio Martins is closing down on his teammate once again. Let's see what goes on there. Julio Martins' fastest lap there, so coming back from further down the grid, he is setting the pace at the moment. His best lap of 33.61. Oh, it's gone completely wrong for Martins. He's been hit and gone off into the weeds. It's dropped him back into the path of Timonen, but he's not close enough to make a move just yet. As we're on to the final lap, Christian leads by now 0.6 of a second to Neves. So Neves has closed in by almost a second on this lap. And if he does it again, he could take over the lead. It looks like Christian's suffering with a little bit of network issue there. Over the set of jumps we go. And it does look like we're going to have Christian registering a race win then. We do indeed, over start finish. 2:56.39. And that will not be the fastest heat we get in Heat 2, I don't think, unless something terrible happens to other people. But anyway, let's see the race results. Christian, Neves, Martins and Timonen. And it was pretty close for P3 there. Only 0.4 of a second in it, just under. As we gear up and get ready for race 2 of Heat 2. It's going to be between Lorenzo, Madjesta, Roni, Unite and Hoppivuri. And the races are going to get faster and faster and faster. This will be coming your way in just a couple of seconds' time. If you've got LFSS3, or even if you don't have LFSS3, you can try the car the drivers are using today, the Skoda 110L Rally. An officially licensed car by Skoda. It's been created by Stuklo, and you can try it out with LFSS3. It's one of the mods included with the game. And, well, the drivers seem to be enjoying it in its rally spec. Yeah, just a reminder of the grids for the next race. It's Lorenzo, who is currently the faster of the drivers in this heat, with Madjesta, Roni, Unite and Hoppivuri. And it's going to get started right now. Race 2 of Heat 2 is all ready to go. From left to right, Lorenzo, Madjesta, Roni, Unite and Hoppis. And we are green. As all the drivers make their way up to the first corner. It's Roni in the middle, about to be sandwiched. No, it looks like Unite's managed to get a nose into the lead. Oh, and Madjesta stopped in his tracks after having pretty much one of the fastest times of the first heat. He's now all the way at the back, but already trying to make up places side by side with Hoppivuri, but it's not worked. Unite into the lead, fighting hard with Lorenzo. Roni is bang average. He's right in the middle, staring at the back of his teammate, trying to keep ahead of Hoppivuri and Madjesta. As we've got a side-by-side battle over start-finish, but Madjesta is up to P4. Hoppivuri trying to go around the outside. It's not working just yet, but he is hanging on in there. This is starting to become quite racy as the drivers warm up. Oh, Lorenzo very, very wide, driving up onto the banking. I think the battle is actually at the back of this one for the moment. Roni leading Madjesta through the final corner. Hoppis just there as well. It looks fantastic. It looks comical on board with these cars as they go over the bumps and undulations around Fernbay Rallycross Green. And all 5 cars in the same corner. That's the first time we've been able to say that all evening, especially with 5 cars. But there we go. Madjesta hooking his front right on the apex there, sending him into a bit of a wobble, but he's got a good exit. And Hoppis is just not close enough to be able to affect the rest of this race. Oh, Roni wide. Oh, a bit of a wobble and exit as well. And Madjesta must surely be thinking he can make a place here. 2 laps to go. Gap into turn 1 was a 1.1 seconds between Unite and Lorenzo. It looks like it's come down even. It has come down. It's 1.1 seconds. 1.14 as we come out of the final corner to begin the final lap. It's Unite with a 1.4 second lead now, so he opens it up again. And the closest car to try and affect the podium. It's Manchester, but he can't find a way around Roney just yet, and he's not got long to do it. He's maybe got one more opportunity. As Hoppus spins, he hooks the curb, and it's game over for Hoppus. All he had to do was navigate the third corner there. I mean, this is a good effort from Manchester. We're going to have to back away from it to watch Unite cross the line. Unite wins. It's going to be close for P3. In fact, Manchester has got it. Lorenzo takes P2. Roney there has to settle for P4. And Hoppus has actually left the race. And on the final lap, he's decided to abort his run, which is a bit of a shame. But there we go. The results of race number 2 of Heat 2 is Unite, Lorenzo, Manchester, Roney, and Hoppus. Now we can get an update of the overall standings after that one. And there's where we stand. Unite currently leading in Heat 2 with a 2-minute 50.1. Lorenzo second, Manchester third. Good effort. But it is in Heat order as we head for the next race, which is going to be between Thamuli, Naliluka, Trespasser, Magic, and McElroy, a full grid. And that is the order they run. Thamuli, Naliluka, Trespasser, Magic, and McElroy from left to right as we look at them. And it's Trespasser in the middle in the bright yellow, who is going to be sandwiched as everyone runs a little bit deep. An entertaining sight down into the first corner. But Thamuli leads the field once again. Oh, but he's been pushed a bit wide. Everybody's been pushed a bit wide. Trespasser down to the back. McElroy just made up 2 places there. And Trespasser's already bullying his way back past Magic. Oh, but that's huge contact with Trespasser and McElroy. McElroy speared off into the wall. He's going to be absolutely furious about that. Trespasser spearing him off at the final corner. Well, Magic is also pushing Trespasser wide, returning the favour, and actually makes the move. He's going to be a bit deep. Trespasser pushes his way through, and it's fraught with body bashing and everything in this heat. This has had it all, as we have a battle now for the first the lead of this race, and it's going to be Naliluka making it 2 wide across start finish. Naliluka with the better line actually coming up the hill. He's on the inside. Can Thamuli hold it around the outside? It looks like he can actually, and that'll be on the inside for turn 2. Oh, more door banging. Naliluka with a nose ahead into turn 3, but hooks the curb and Thamuli drives away. Great racing there. Trespasser P3, Magic bobbling over the curbs in P4. And if you want to tune in to Thamuli's live stream, you can do on Twitch. Thamuli _ he is live. Pull up his live stream. Why not? Alongside the main broadcast, as we are on to lap number 4. And let's see what Trespasser's up to. He's going to be just about holds it up onto 2 wheels. We joined him just at the wrong time, and Magic is on his roof as well. So Magic is also out of race number 3. Well, it's a shame. But Naliluka, well, he looks motivated, doesn't he, to try and get this win. But he hasn't got long to go. We're on to the final lap. The drivers are going to get past Magic there. You can just see him on his roof. Out of the final corner, Thamuli has done enough once again to take the second win in the heats, and it's a great race time, a 2-minute 51 as well. Trespasser P3 after spearing McElroy off. McElroy is going to be furious, but his race time is going to be, well, it's not going to be what he wanted. 10 seconds down at the end as they're trying to save Magic, but I don't think it's going to happen. There is an invisible wall there That's not going to work. Oh no, there isn't an invisible wall there. They definitely used to be there. Shows my age a bit. Didn't used to be able to push people through that. Anyway, Magic is... well, Magic is not going to finish this race. So I think we can call it. Tamuli wins in 2 minutes 51.9 with Nalaluka P2, Trespasser, Montemacari and Magic a DNF, but yeah, 2 laps down in the end. And Montemacari fastest lap, even though he was speared off. That's the second time Montemacari's had the fastest lap, but he's been nowhere near the front. Bit of an unusual one. And let's take a look then at the grids. Let's see how we're looking for heat number 2. Well, we should have the results now from this heat, and we do. And there we go. It's Unite who had the fastest time in heat number 2. Lorenzo P2, Tamuli, Nalaluka, Majesta, Roni, Trespasser, Christian, Neves, and Martins. And it looks like we will get a couple more names appearing on our grid. In fact, yeah, we've got 2 names appearing. We've got Timonen, Montemacari, Hoppaviri, and Magic. They DNF'd, so they weren't on the graphics originally, but there we are. They are in now. And that will set us up nicely for the start of heat number 3, and we're going to get grids for that in just a moment's time. So if you're just joining us and you're not sure what you're watching, well, you're watching the 5th round of the Zafiralis All Rounder Championship, Season 2 for 2025. And the way this championship works is that we visit various environments in Live for Speed, 4 environments in total. We've had Rockium, we've had a road race there, we've had a rallycross race there, we've had a slick race there. And the second round of the championship, the XRT, at an open configuration rallycross track, a very good one at that, was in the same format as tonight's event. But next time out in June, we're going to have a slick tyre race. So join the grid for that one, as we are going to get ready for the next heat in just a few moments' time. We may have a bit of a pause before the start of the 3rd heat race. Some prodding needs to go off in the background, so we'll take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. While the organisers sort out Heat 3, let's tune into a little bit of practice, shall we? Yep, there's some practice going on. Knight on his side, classic. This is Hugo Martins warming up, and Thamuli taking a big detour in the background over. Oh, there we go. He's gone over as well. I mean, it's best to do this in practice, right? You don't want to do your rolls in the actual race. Here's Unite again. And Lorenzo taking a shortcut. Not going to work in the race though. Jester's going to arrive on the scene very shortly as well. Upside down, so too is Moss McCarry. And Christian. There we go. Anyway, we'll leave you with these pictures. We'll be back as soon as we have a grid. Welcome back. We have a grid for race 3. Yeah, it took me a little bit by surprise. Let's get to the track and see what's going on. Heat 3 is underway right now. The worker bees in the background have got everything ready for us, and it's Neves, Martins, and Magic who are away into turn 1. And hopefully we can get this event wrapped up without any further problems. But thanks for everyone for your patience, and to Jonathan Palmer from New Dimension Racing for getting everything fixed. And we are back up and running. Bit of contact there, but it is Neves who leads the way. Magic in the middle with the only green that we can see for the race green team. This is the first race of Heat 3. And after Heat 3, we'll go straight to the finals, where everybody will get to race in a final. The winner of each final will be promoted to the final above until we get to the A final, where tonight's winner will be decided. Over start finish, it's Neves who leads onto lap 3, with Magic trying to go around the outside up the hill. That's not going to work. Needs to get on the inside for the next corner if he can, but Neves has got that cleared as well. Magic with the fastest lap. Oh, and contact. This could open up the door for Julio Martins, and it will. Julio goes through his teammate, but it's straight into the back of Magic. Magic had nowhere to go. He was as far across as he could be, but Martins given plenty of room there by Magic. But Magic has it covered off. Oh, Martins rolls. He's rolled it over. Too close to the inside curb, and that's the end of his race for sure. So now it's all on Neves to try and close down Magic. But it does look like Magic's got this all wrapped up for now. As we go over start finish to start the final lap of the race. In fact, we're finished. I wasn't even ready for that. That was a quick one, wasn't it? Finished for Magic. 2 minutes 56.38. Neves in P2. And a DNF for Julio Martins. Get the results for you on the screens. There you go. Magic winning with the fastest lap of 33.47. Neves and Martins in second and third. Race 2 of Heat 3 will be coming up in just a few moments' time. But we will not be able to bring you the grid graphics for the foreseeable future. But we will bear with the organisers and bring you the racing as it happens. So, welcome back to Zafiralis All Rounder Championship, round 5 from Fern Bay Rallycross Green. Tonight is round 5 of a 12-round championship. Next time out in June, we are going to be at Fern Bay for combination to be decided after this round, and it's going to be a slick tyres round. So, lots of excitement. Where is that going to be? Probably at either Fern Bay Green or Fern Bay Black, you would expect. But we'll have to wait and see as we head back to the grid for race 2 of Heat 3. Here we go. Unite, Christian and Mortimer Carey are go. Unite on the left, Christian in the middle, and Mortimer Carey on the right as we head down to the first corner. And Unite's going to want to try and win this. He's not had a good run so far, but he's very, very wide into turn one over the curb, but has the momentum. What can Mortimer Carey do as well? He's had fastest lap in both of his previous heats, but his best finish, I think, was 4th. So let's see how he gets on in this one. He can't finish 4th. He can DNF, but he can't finish 4th in this one. Let's see if he can win it. Unite opens the door for him, but it's going to close as we head to the second apex. And then into the rallycross section. Now's Mortimer Carey's chance to try and get through over the curb. Has a nose in. This could be good. He could be able to get through here, and he is. He's got a nose ahead. Unite's pushed wide. Oh, and Mortimer Carey closes the door to Unite. Unite goes up in the air, and Christian is through. Could have a sniff at taking over the lead himself if he fancies it. Oh, late braking into the first corner. Be very careful there not to tag each other and take each other out. Yeah, you have to be so smooth through those corners, otherwise you just lose all of the momentum. And Unite, you can't see it quite from that camera view. He's up the inside of Christian already and trying to get the place back, but no use. Mortimer Carey is going the right way to take a win here, as there is contact between Christian and Unite. Christian goes on to lap 4 in P2. And he's deep, but Unite's not going to be able to get him, I don't think. Not just yet. Christian. Oh, more contact. As Unite's really trying to force the gap. These guys are going for glory. They're not looking for race times, are they? And Unite's back through into P2. As we head on to the final lap, I won't miss it this time. It's Mortimer Carey. He's doing all the right stuff to try and get this win in the books, as Christian almost hooks a curb at turn 1. But carries on no problem. Here is Mortimer Carey then. Final corner. And not only will it be the fastest lap, it's going to be a race win as well in round 5. There we go. Unite takes P2 in the end, followed by Christian in P3. And it's a 2:52.9 for Mortimer Carey. So 3 fastest laps from 3 for him in all of his heats this evening. As we will prepare for another heat race. So we should have one more heat race, which is just being gridded up in the background. It's going to be Thamuli, Lorenzo, Majesta, and Roni. But I think we've lost Nani Luca. The pause was just a little bit too long to keep all the drivers with us. So we're going to have a 4-car heat for the final race before our actual finals. So Thamuli on the left, Lorenzo, Majesta and Roni. And we are green for 5 more laps before our 6-lap finals begin. And it's Roni around the outside trying to take over the lead. It's Thamuli who has a nose ahead. And Thamuli will take the lead. Oh, but Roni tags Thamuli, spins himself around. Lorenzo promoted to P2. Majesta then to P3. As we head over the first sector line. And Roni's gone from challenging for the lead to dead last. Thamuli is still live on Twitch if you want to go and support his channel, Thamuli_. He's got his point of view, and it's looking like he is a strong contender for the overall win here tonight now. Go and give that a little look as we ride on board with Lorenzo to see if he can do anything to challenge Thamuli's pace towards the middle of this race. 32-second laps here at Fernbay Rallycross Green. Oh, as there, Majesta trying to get through on Lorenzo on the inside, and he is through. Contact through the final corner. Lorenzo does the switch back, tries to get back through. It doesn't work. There is a Majesta in the way. But one thing's for sure, Roni is sort of on a catch-up here, trying to consolidate what he can from this race. Oh, as there's a chance. Majesta spins around and is now at the back himself. As Thamuli heads on to lap 4. 2 to go. We're only up to a podium place then, but it all depends on their race times. As far as I know, the grids for the final are going to have to be manually calculated, but we will have an A final and a B final at the very least. As we're already on the final lap, Thamuli's through the final chicane now with a 1.5 second lead over Lorenzo, and that is a comfortable victory out of the final corner for Thamuli. No problems at all, and he takes the win in a very fast race time, a 2 minute 50.71. It's not the fastest we've seen tonight, but it's right up there, and it's exactly what he needs to try and cement his place at the top of the A final. So there we are then. The results of race number 3 of Heat 3 for this evening's event. Thamuli, 2 minutes 50.71, fastest lap of 32.96, with Lorenzo and Roni joining on the podium. Manchester there, only P4 in that one. So we'll head into the finals now, but there will be a gridding period and a period for the organisers to calculate what the order will be. So bear with us once again while we work out who is going to be in which final, competing for the overall win of round 5 of the Zafiralis All Rounder Championship. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. We are about to have our B final. And doesn't look like Thamuli made it in, which is a bit weird. But we are going to have 7 cars, by the looks of it, or 6 cars rather, in this final. I know it does look like Thamuli made it through to the A final, as expected. As we head then to the track for the largest grid we've seen tonight so far. As the lights come on. And we are green. And a good start for Unite. He is up into the lead. Roni P2, Magic third, Christian fourth, Neves at the back. And Thamuli will be into the A final, and one of these drivers will be joining him. And it's probably going to be either Unite or Roni if they carry on like this. As Roni goes into the lead. Unite's still got the momentum on the outside, however, so this is going to be a close one. Actually, no. Roni's got the momentum. Magic up to P3 there in the background. But Roni takes over the lead. Oh, but with a bit of a tank slapper, Unite might have a chance here. Yeah, Unite's back into the lead. Unite taking advantage of Roni giving up quite a bit of time there as Christian spins himself around and has lost a chunk of time. There he is in the blue at the back with Neves chasing down Magic. Christian tapped the back of Neves and spins around. That's what's caused him to drop back. As over start finish, it's Magic who takes the fastest lap. And it's really close here between Unite and Roni. It could go either way here. Riding on board with Roni, and just a little bit too much steering lock. The driver's putting on quite a lot of lock coming out of the final corner. The car does not like it when the front wheels are not pointing straight. Unite with a bit of a twitch. Roni trying to find something. He's going to try the switch back onto the... Oh, but he's got it all wrong. He's actually crashed into the apex. That's going to give Magic the momentum. So Unite can pretty much relax. We are into a 6-lap final here, so there is 1 extra lap on the clock. But that will not have helped Roni at all. He's now going to have to start looking in his rearview mirrors at his teammate, of all people. And Unite's got a 2-second lead to play with at this stage. But it can all come undone very, very quickly. Hopefully everyone's remembered to put an extra sip of fuel in the car. The race is only about 3 minutes long, so you'd have to do something spectacularly wrong to underfuel your car for this one. But it has happened in the past. As Unite goes on to the final lap then. Roni trying to do something in P2, but it's just too big. The gap is far too big. He's closed down 0.4 of a second on the last lap, but it's not enough. But we are all about race time here. We're not all about overall position. And in this race, if Unite crosses the start-finish line first, he will be promoted to the A final. And everybody else's run to the finish will end here. And there we go, over start-finish. Unite will be promoted to the A final. Roni misses out and tumbles across start-finish. Magic third, Neves fourth, Christian fifth. And there is your race result. Roni getting the fastest lap of 33.1, pushing there at the end to finish only 9/10 behind Unite. But yeah, the mistake cost him dearly. As the grid will now be set for the A final, the last race of the evening. Who will be crowned the overall winner of round 5 of the 2025 edition, season 2 of Zafiralis All Rounder Championship in Live for Speed. We will find out very shortly. And before we do, just a reminder once again that you're watching part of a larger championship, 12 rounds towards the end of the year, one a month, using different tyre compounds at different environments with different cars in Live for Speed. Next time out, we're back at Fern Bay for a slick race with a car to be decided, at a track at Fern Bay to be decided. But it can only be one of a few, so see what we have to look forward to. The grid is being set in the background for the A final. Thamuli's on the grid, Lorenzo's on the grid, and it will be Unite joining in, as well as Mad Jester. As everybody gets ready to go. So for the final time this evening, let's have some racing. 5-car final. Unite joins in as the winner of the B final, and we have a grid. So as we look at them, it's Thamuli, Lorenzo and McElroy on the front row, with Mad Jester and Unite on the back row. And we are green for the final time tonight. Thanks for bearing with us through the technical troubles. But we're done with all that. We're back to racing. That's where we like to be. And it's Thamuli into the first corner first. 3 wide at the very back. Lorenzo, Unite and Mad Jester all bundling each other off the road, with McElroy, who's been so unlucky so far. 3 fastest laps. Hasn't been able to get too many race wins under his belt, or podiums in fact. But now finds himself in P2 in the A final, chasing his teammate, while he's chased by the unruly rabble, Lorenzo, Mad Jester and Unite behind him. But that's a huge lead already after just 1 lap for Thamuli. He's got daylight between himself and his teammate. McElroy, he's going to be a little bit worried about what is going on behind him as these 3 try to close him down. Oh, but it's not going to matter. Mad Jester there going for a huge send on Lorenzo, forcing him off the road, and that is all over for the 3 cars at the very back. This is a 2-horse race between Thamuli and McElroy. As they all come through turn 1, we'll get an update of the gap to the lead over the jump here. And it's come down by 0.4 of a second. McElroy, he's had fastest laps tonight. He's had all the fastest laps he could possibly get. He's had 3 out of 3. Thamuli has had fastest laps as well. But McElroy is looking racy now. And it comes down again over start-finish. So Thamuli's got a real challenge on from his teammate here. Oh, as Thamuli goes up on 2 wheels, and that's an uncomfortable sight. That'll have sent a drip of sweat beading down his neck, as now McElroy is breathing down his neck. The gap down to just under 2 car lengths, maybe just over 2 car lengths, but it's half a second now separating our race leaders. And will we have a change for the lead in the dying moments of this race? 2 laps to go, 1 minute of racing left in round 5. And can McElroy overtake his teammate at the last possible chance that he has here at Fern Bay Rallycross Green? The first time we've ever broadcast racing from here, which is quite remarkable. It's a great little track, and this is a great little car. The fully licensed Skoda 110L Rally, as we have 1 lap of racing to go. McElroy 0.4 now behind, but he has to find a place to go for that all-important lunge. But Thamuli's covered him at turn 1. He's covered him at turn 2. The gap's opening up. I think Thamuli has this under wraps, but it's not over until the final whistle blows. And, well, having said that, Thamuli has got everything right. Out of the final corner he comes, and eventually, after 2 hours, we have a winner. It's Thamuli, who crosses the line with a bit of a celebration ahead of his teammate. McElroy will be credited with the fastest lap though, 33.03. Very, very fast racing indeed. Oh no, it's Unite that gets the fastest lap. That's a strange one. Unite's managed to sneak in there with the fastest lap, so Martin McElroy doesn't make it a clean sweep. Unite steals that honour away, but there is your final result for the A final. Zafiralis Thamuli winning ahead of his teammate Martin McElroy, Lorenzo for Race Green, SGR Majesta and Sidus Unite. And that brings us to a close round number 5 of the Zafiralis All Rounder Championship for 2025. The drivers will line up on the grid for the customary podium photograph that we like to do here. Just waiting for Lorenzo. I think he's going to get a front. Oh no, there he is. Lovely. Well, that's just about all we have time for this evening. But of course, as I mentioned throughout the broadcast, you can join us again in June for more Zafiralis action. And yeah, it's going to be at Fern Bay somewhere with a slick, tired car. And we hope to see you on the grid. But that's been all from us for round 5 of the championship from Fern Bay Rallycross Green with the Skoda 110L Rally. This has been Live for Speed. Thank you very much for watching. We hope you all have a great evening. Thanks for sticking with us, and we'll see you all on the next one. Good night.